All right, here we go. Good morning, everyone, or hello from whatever time of day you're practicing today. My name is Francia. Today's classes are Vinyasa for all levels. It's our Sunday kind of gentle flow, so we will be using some props. I have a yoga blanket I'm sitting on. If you do have your yoga blocks, it may be helpful, especially as we begin to move, to allow the earth to come up to us and greet us a little bit, give us some support. But definitely a bolster for the end of our practice because we will be relaxing in a supported fish pose. So allow your shoulders to roll back and down. Again, make sure that you feel nice and supported by your props if that you wish. Let your hands rest on your lap or on your knees. Soften the elbows, soften the shoulders. Let the knees relax down towards the earth. Take a nice deep inhale breath. Feeling the chest, lungs, and rib cage expanding. And a slow, gentle exhale breath. And once more, deep breath in. Slow breath out. Continuing to keep this steady rhythmic movement of breath, we'll begin to bring awareness to the pelvic floor. So the area right between the two sits bones, between the pubic bone and the tailbone. And see if you can draw that area up and in as you inhale, and then relax it as you exhale. Kind of squeezing a little bit, hollowing out the lower belly, and then exhale, let all of that relax. Let's do one more. And then with the next exhale, we'll blink the eyes open, awareness back into our space. Let's roll the shoulders back and down. Begin with the inhale, drawing the arms up towards the sky, palms towards each other. You can press the palms against each other or keep them shoulder width apart. Inhale, lengthen, maybe gazing up. Open the heart, lift the chest, but keep the tailbone grounded. Gently, a little bit of a tuck under through the tailbone. And then exhale, let your hands come over to the left side of your body. Rest your right hand on your left knee and your left hand behind you as you find a gentle rotation. Inhale, draw everything back up again, gazing upwards, palms facing each other or touching. And exhale, other side. Let your gaze move towards that right shoulder. Inhale, up once more time. And exhale, hands to heart. Releasing the legs here, we're going to extend the legs out. You can come off of your prop if you were sitting on something. It's probably best to sit flat on the floor for this one. Let the legs come out to the sides, and we're going to continue on with just a little gentle warm up of the spine and the legs and hips. So hands onto the knees. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, gently fold, letting the elbows rest down onto the thighs. So we're again trying to hollow out the lower belly, pull everything in, roll the shoulders back, or you can take your hands in front to support yourself. You might find you're not able to fold very deeply here, only starting to warm up the body and kind of see where our bodies are. So as you feel you have a little bit more wiggle room, continue to soften the elbows until maybe, possibly, the elbows can rest on the floor. Keep the legs engaged, so the feet are flexed. The shoulders move back in a way, so there's opening in the heart. Kind of feels like sphinx in the top part of your body. There's a lot of engagement happening in the legs here. You want to press down firmly through the calf muscles. One more breath, inhale. Exhale. And then inhale, lift the heart and chest, press into the hands, shoulders back. Exhale, walk yourself back up to center. Gently lean your body over to the side. Maybe you hold on to your ankle or your foot or your big toe. Find something that you can reach here. Ankle seems like a good spot for me. Now we're going to press into that left hand to rotate the chest and look back over left shoulder. Now, right now, my right arm is straight. If you feel like there's a little bit more room for you to slide, you can maybe rest the right elbow and rest the forearm on top of the right shin. And then again, keep using that left arm to give you just a little gentle adjustment and create a little further rotation in the upper spine. Steady breathing. And then inhale, gently come back up. Use the core strength to find yourself at center, and then reach for that left foot, left toe, left ankle, whatever you can find. Try to kind of extend your body. Right hand onto the right thigh, close to the hip, and then gentle pressure into that right hand to rotate the chest and gazing back over right shoulder. The legs, both of them, are still nice and strong and contracted and firm and creating stability through the body. As you find yourself having a little bit more room, maybe bending that left elbow, letting the left forearm rest onto the left shin. Keep putting that gentle pressure into the right hand, creating that deeper rotation. One more breath. Slowly inhale, rising back up, using the strength of your core. Gonna shake out the shoulders here. Inhale, draw the arms up. And we're gonna exhale, we're gonna reach forward. So reach, 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 lengthen forward. There you go, like you wanna touch fingertips. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Maybe let the head relax if there's tension in the neck. And then inhale, rise back up. And let's do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale, lengthen your body forward. Try to hinge from your hips. Try to lengthen your entire spine. Push your feet away. Shoulders roll back and down. Chin is kind of parallel to the floor. Gaze down to the tip of the nose. Reach, reach, reach as you fold. Inhale, rise back up. And exhale, release, arms down by the sides. Good. Go ahead and bend the knees. Bring the knees in towards each other. And let's give ourselves a nice rounded hug. Forehead to the knees, press the middle back away. Steady breathing. Nice, easy, deep inhale, slow, gentle exhale, no tension in the neck or shoulders. And then gently release, and we'll make our way to tabletop position. So as we come to tabletop, we'll start by warming up a little bit into the wrists. Nice strong fingers, strong knuckles, knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders, and start to move the weight a little forward and back. Now we do this quite a bit in many of our practices, but whenever we're going to be putting weight on the hands, it's a really good idea to warm up the wrists. We don't want to start with cold wrists and then have some injuries happen. So let's take it forward. Find however much forward your wrist can take. Squeeze the fingers and knuckles into the floor and then hold there. All the little muscles in your forearms, the front and back of your forearms, even in and around the elbows, start to engage. And you start to feel them even in your hand. You can even look down and see, oh, there's some muscles in my hands that I wasn't really aware of. So squeeze the fingers. Maybe the tips of your fingers are becoming a little white at the top now because their blood has stopped circulating there. And then exhale, slowly release, sit the hips down, bring the elbows to the floor and shake out your hands. So allow the blood circulation to move back through. Notice how everything feels. If that felt too intense, next time, don't go so deep forward, just stay a little further back. Let's do it one more time. Hands down, inhale. Come back up to tabletop. Find your stance here. Make sure you're grounded and rooted, protracted shoulders, hollow out the lower belly, and then slowly take it forward and hold at your maximum. So you're trying not to bend your elbows. You're trying to squeeze through the fingers. You're using all of the muscles of your fingers, your hands, your wrists, your forearms, your elbows, upper arms, and even into the shoulders here. Exhale, slowly release, come all the way back, sit down, elbows down, and give those hands a shake. Move them around, make fists open and close the hands, the fingers, kind of just shake it out. All right, one more, different this time. We're gonna go back to tabletop, and we're gonna turn the hands out to the sides so that they're pointing at the edges of your mat. And then from here, just take a gentle sway side to side. You'll notice it targets a little different part of the hand. You're still pressing the fingers down like you're trying to grip your mat. And there's still this element of protraction in the shoulders, even though you feel in your shoulders kind of like sink down as you move to one side. Try to keep the shoulders engaged and not down like you're swaying. So there's an engagement in the shoulders as you move. And then coming back to center, See if you can turn the hands a little bit more. This time, maybe the fingertips point towards your knees. If that's not possible, just go to wherever angle your body will allow. So the insides of your elbows are pointing forward and you're squeezing through your fingers. Lift your heart and chest. And again, try to keep those shoulders nice and engaged here as you engage the core. Stay one more breath. This might feel like a lot, so make sure you pace yourself. If it's too much, don't do it. And then exhale, take the hands out to the sides and take a moment here, maybe a little bit more swaying. Notice the fingers and then take the hands forward. Inhale, roll it forward just for a breath. Exhale, take it all the way back. Elbows down, shake out those wrists. Grab a hold of the left wrist and move the left hand around. Make sure it's a tight grip, close to the left top of the hand, or close to the higher part of the wrist. And then switch. Good. All right, beautiful. So from here, I think we're ready. The wrists feel warm. Shake them out once more. Back to our tabletop position. Inhale, tuck the toes under, lift the knees up, find your floating tabletop. So shoulders protracted. Nice strong hands and wrists, strong shoulders, strong core. Knees are hovering slightly off the floor. One more breath, inhale. And exhale, press it back to downward facing. So you can pedal out your legs. You can adjust. So perhaps you look back at your feet and they're not quite parallel. Maybe your heels are pointing in or your heels are pointing out. So make sure that you are looking at two sides of a letter H when you look at your feet. Draw in through the lower belly, hollow it out, and move the rib cage towards the thighs. Let the head hang heavy and take your gaze towards your upper thighs or your knees. Steady breathing. Again, you can add movement here if you wish, or you can just be in stillness. Let's hold 3 more breaths. Two more. Roll the shoulders away from each other. Make the space between your two shoulder blades. Last breath. Good. And then inhale, looking forward between the hands. Walk the feet about halfway up your mat. Separate your hips or feet a little wider than your hips. Soften your knees. Let yourself come down. So if you want to grab a block here, you can place it in front of your toes to bring your hands to it. If you don't need the block, you can just take your hands right in front of your toes so that your big toes touch with the back of your wrists. And then we're going to let your head relax. Let the shoulders soften. And remember, let's keep the knees bent for this first one. So we're not trying to create a whole lot of tension here in the lower back. We're trying to release the back muscles. So you want to lengthen the tailbone up only as high as it can go without separating your thighs away from your hips or from your chest. So it's possible you may be really, really low, almost in a low squat. And then again, you use your hands to keep you stable. As you feel more flexibility, you can start to elevate the hips, but keep the contact, rib cage and thighs. Don't let that separate. One more breath. Exhale. Good. And we're going to take the hands back to hold on to the back of your ankles or the back of your calf muscles. Maybe if you can, even let your forearm reach behind your leg. So you're really closing out the space. As we exhale, see if you can fold a little deeper. And try to reach the hips up and begin to straightening through your legs. If possible, you can also do this in that same deep squat we were talking about before. This is the same posture, just looks a little different depending on your body. So don't force yourself to move into any particular shape your body's not ready to yet. One more breath. And inhale, slowly lift the head. Bring your hands to the block or to the floor, lift the chest. Ardha Uttanasana, shoulders roll back. Let's pedal out the legs here. So as we move the legs, keep the feet grounded. Don't let the heels lift up. Just sway the hips side to side as you bend one knee, straighten one knee. Couple more breaths, swaying side to side, checking in with those legs, and then we're going to repeat those two movements one more time. One more. And then coming back to center, softening the knees to let your rib cage and thighs touch. Once they're there, you can release your hands to the floor in the same position with the palms down, toes by the wrist, or you can turn them, palms up, wrists and toes in one line, and then let the head hang. So less support by your hands, more support in your legs. See, really the only difference, the elbows kind of open out to the sides, and you're gonna let your head hang heavy. Keep the rib cage and thigh contact. Start to lift the tailbone, lift the sits bones, and try to straighten through your legs. But never letting go of that contact of thighs and rib cage. Steady breathing. Gazing towards the tip of the nose. Maybe you start to notice you're dumping too much weight into your heels. See if you can bring a little bit more weight forward to the toes and to the balls of your feet. Also check in with the left and right side of your feet. See if you can bring more weight to the inside or the outside of the foot. Balance it out. And then inhale, slowly bend the knees. See if you can grab behind the ankles or calves for the second version. This one takes a little bit more pull. Exhale, fold, reach the hips up and pull tightly with your arms. So you're using your arms to create that closure, upper body with legs. Keep lengthening up through the tailbone. If at any point this feels like it's too much, coming into a squat will be really helpful, which is where we're going to go after this. Or standing up, or coming into a half lift, or even a down dog. Really just kind of coming to whatever posture your body needs. But if you feel like this is intense, and yet your breath is stable and rhythmic, you're challenged, but you're not feeling pain, then you're welcome to stay one more breath. And inhale, slowly release, soften the knees, hands on the block. Inhale, press the arms straight. And as you're ready, lengthen through the legs. Find your Ardha, your halfway lift, shoulders back. Remember, your block has level, so you can make your block as tall as your body needs. Or if you don't need it, you can just have your hands on the floor. So there's all kinds of options for you today. One more breath. Good. Bending through the right knee, lifting the left arm up, finding a gentle twist. We're just going to move right through it. Exhale, release. Left hand down, left knee bends. Inhale, right arm up, moving right through it, not stopping. Exhale, release. Again, right side. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, release. Last one. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, release. And then this time, open your feet so we can come to our Malasana. You can slide the block underneath you if you need it for support, but we're not going to be here very long, so give yourself the challenge to do it without the block if possible. Allow the elbows to open out to the sides, press the palms into each other, lift the heart. Staying here for 5 breaths. Let the toes kind of squeeze down, ground down to the floor. Shoulders back, chest lifted. 2. Make the breaths long and steady. 3. Calm and easy. 4. Tailbone reaching down, top of the head reaching up. And 5. Exhale, hands down, slowly lift the hips. You can move the block out of the way, walk the fingertips forward, toes and heel come together at the top of your mat. Slowly roll yourself up to standing. Taking your time, using the strength of your legs to support you here, arms down by your sides. We're coming into Tadasana, shoulders back. Maybe close the eyes for a moment. Check in with your breath. Uh-oh, Zena sees a dog. Inhale, arms up.
Palms towards each other or maybe touching, gazing towards thumbs. Press firmly through the soles of your feet. Keep your heels down. Tuck the tailbone slightly under, reach to the fingertips. Exhale, bend the knees, slowly fold forward, hinging from the hips. Hands to the floor, head relaxes, hips up. Inhale, lengthen halfway, come to the fingertips, and extend the spine as you roll the shoulders back. This is a good opportunity to straighten your legs. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands on the floor, easy walk or step your feet back, coming to your high plank. So we find the high plank, engage the core. Exhale, knees down, and chest comes down to the floor. Inhale, separate your feet, coming into cobra, open heart, lift chest. Just gentle pressure into the hands, but you're not using your arms here, you're using your back muscles. Press the legs into the floor. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes under, press back up through the knees, and exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take 5 breaths here. Let the head relax. Let the shoulders separate. Pressing through the heels, steady breathing. Inhale, looking forward between the hands, right foot steps forward, big step, and take back knee to the floor. Take a moment here to adjust as you come up, finding length in your spine. You can bring your hands to waist or your hands onto your right thigh. Keep moving your hips down, and let's release that left toe. Stay here for a moment, feeling your rib cage rise as you press into your leg or as you keep your hands on your waist. Either one is fine. Keep moving your hips forward and down. Feel that deep stretch in the front of that left leg. Now from here, inhale, raise the arms. Palms towards each other or facing each other. Reach to the fingertips, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, keep that lift in the chest. Just release the arms down by your sides and reach them down towards the floor. Open heart, deep back bend here. May not look like much, but hopefully it feels like you're moving into this heart opener. Exhale, slowly release, arms up once more, and inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Tuck the left toe under, straighten the left leg. Keep the left heel off the floor for a moment, make little adjustments. Allow your heart to shine forward. You can use blocks underneath your hands for these as well. Now pivot left heel to the floor, and then inhale, straighten through that right leg, lift your heart. Exhale, place your right hand on the inside of that right foot, and then lift your left arm up. This is a little bit like Trikonasana, but the legs are wider and your right hand is on the inside of your right foot. You're looking up towards your left fingertips. Exhale, slowly release. Left hand comes down, straddling the foot with the hands. Left heel off the floor, bend the right knee. Stay one more breath. And then we're going to go the other direction. So maybe shorten the distance just a tad bit. Straighten through that right leg. You can come to your fingertips. Left hand down on the floor, right arm up. Same, similar to our reverse Trikonasana or Pavrita Trikonasana, but the left hand is on the big toe side of the foot and your left heel is off the floor. Legs are a bit wider. Exhale, slowly release. Right hand down, find your kind of deep lengthening spine here, straightening through both legs. Exhale, bend the right knee, and that left toe can wiggle back a bit more. One more breath here, inhale. Exhale, take the right foot back. Find your high plank, maybe with that right leg lifted or with the right foot on the floor. Your choice. You can find either one. Hold and breathe. 1, 2, and 3. Knees come down, chest comes down, hug the elbows to the rib cage. Take your time to lower down. Once the chest comes down, then you can repeat your cobra pose, or you can press into the hands and maybe come a little bit higher in like a half upward facing. If you're feeling good, roll all the way onto the tops of the feet so the thighs come up. Press into the arms straight, lift your heart and chest, gazing forward or slightly up. Steady breathing. Exhale, curling over the toes or pressing onto the knees as you roll your way back to downward facing dog. And again, we'll hold this one 5 breaths. 1. Shoulders separate. 2. Legs lengthen. 3, you're pulling down with your heels and pulling up with your sits bones. 4. And 5. Inhale, looking forward. We're gonna step that left foot forward now between the hands, big step, and stay here for a moment in your lunge. You can come to your fingertips, you can use blocks, or keep your hands flat down. Press back to that right heel so that you can feel this lunge kind of happening as you lift your heart and chest. Now exhale, take your right knee down, release your foot, and gently come up. So same as before, we can bring our hands to the waist or hands interlaced on top of the left thigh. I find this is a good stable position, especially if you're feeling a little bit out of balance, so that you can move your hips forward and down and lift your heart and chest. Imagine your rib cage rising up to meet your chest. That's kind of where you want to go with this movement. Now, as you stay grounded through that left foot, move into the hips. So hips forward and down towards the left heel. One more breath here, either hands on the knees or hands at the waist. And then inhale, we're going to lift the arms up. Find the opening of the heart, lift the chest, maybe gazing slightly upwards. Now keep that opening in the chest and let your arms release back and down, reaching the fingertips towards the floor. Find your back bend. Keep pressing forward through your hips and keep grounding firmly to that left big toe. Deep opening in the front of your heart. Inhale, back up to center, so arms rise back up. Exhale, hands come all the way down. Take a couple breaths here, recenter yourself. And then we're gonna tuck that right toe under, straighten the right leg, make little adjustments here, lift the heart. Exhale, straighten the left leg now, and bring the right heel down to the floor. The left hand is gonna stay on the floor, and then we're gonna take the right arm up to find our version of Trikonasana today. Reach the right fingertips, both legs are straight, right shoulder stacked right over the left shoulder. Exhale, right hand down, reach the right toe, right heel off the floor, bend the left knee once more, and find yourself in this lunge. Now we're gonna do the other side, our Pavrita. So lengthen left leg again, but this time the right heel stays lifted. Right weight to the right hand and open up the left side. So both legs are straight, lengthening through the torso, looking up towards left fingertips. Try to bring your fingers together, don't let them open out and wide, but nice and pressed against each other. Keep your hips strong, keep your body stable in the center line. And then exhale, release, left hand down, bend through that left knee, take another breath here. And then exhale slowly. We're gonna press ourselves back and find our wide-legged pyramid. You can stay with your heart lifted, or you can gently fold over that left leg. Really, it just depends on where your body is today. One more breath. And exhale, bend through that left knee. This time we're gonna take the left foot back to find our high plank. So again, you can be with your all 10 toes on the floor, or let that left leg rise and hold there. 3, 2, and 1. Both feet down on the floor, knees come down, hug the elbows in, lower the chest. Inhale, come to your cobra, or your half up dog, or your full up dog. Your choice here. Shoulders back, shine your heart forward. Exhale, pressing back to downward facing, either through the knees or just by simply rolling the toes over. Hold 5 breaths. 1, calm, steady breathing. 2, 3. This gives us the opportunity to regulate our breath, to calm the mind, and to steady the sensations of the body. 4. And 5. Now, inhale, look forward between the hands, right foot steps forward once more. Grab your block, place it by your right foot, and then take your hands to the inside. We're gonna bring the hips to that block. So bend into that right knee. You can take your time as your hips come down, and you can sit on the block. So this is Skandasana. Skandasana, normally you don't use a block, but we're gonna use it today to help us achieve the shape of the posture. Your right foot is grounded on the floor. Your right knee is bent and pointing upwards. Your left leg is extended, and there's an engagement in that left thigh. If we didn't have the block, we'd have to support ourselves just by being here. So let's enjoy having the block. Right elbow on the inside of the right knee. Let the hands come or the thumbs come to the center of the heart. Lift the chest. Let's hold here. Maybe close the eyes or take your gaze downward. 1. Pressing that right knee back and keeping that left leg firm. 2. 3, calm, steady breathing. 4. And 5. Slowly as we exhale, we're going to bring the hands to the floor. Softly bend through that left knee so you have room. And you can take one hand to either side of the left leg or both hands on the inside. Roll yourself forward to come back up. Find yourself in a wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest, and then exhale, fold deeply. See if you can line up the tips of your fingers with the edges of your toes or your heels. And let your top of the head come down as you relax the shoulders and roll the weight forward to the toes. Steady breathing. 1. 2, observe how the two hips feel slightly different since we did Skandasana on one side and not the other. 4, contract through quadriceps, engage the legs. 5, slide the hands forward, inhale, lift the spine, slide your block over to the left foot, and then exhale, extend the right leg, and see if you can sit your hips down onto the block on the left side. Good, okay. Good job. All right, so Mindy, be careful with that left knee that it's not in front of you, but out to the side. Yeah, good adjustment, perfect. And then from here, left arm inside that left knee, hands in prayer, shoulders back, very nice, that's good. And then press through the right calf muscle, right heel is down. And again, maybe close the eyes, center yourself. 1, 2, 3, calm, steady breath. 4, and 5. Beautiful. So to come out of this, you can bring both hands to the front. Sometimes I find that this is difficult and I can't get the leverage to move up. So the other option is to bring one hand behind you and to push with that right hand. So either way is fine, your choice. Lean forward, see if you can come up. Takes a minute, that's okay. Back to your wide-legged forward fold. You can move the block back behind you so that it's out of the way. Center yourself on your mat. See if you can slide your heels a little bit wider into a wider, wide leg stretch. So before we were a little bit more supported by the legs, this time we're bringing the weight to the hands and letting the hands support some of that weight. Still, your heart is shining forward. And if you have flexibility here to add or move, maybe bring the elbows to the floor. Or you can slide the block forward and bring the elbows to the block. Once your elbows are down on the floor or on the block, let your head release and stay here for a few breaths. Now, because this class has different levels, I'm going to give you guys an option to come into a wide-legged headstand. So if that's not something in your practice, then just stay in this nice, delicious forward fold, engaging and finding breath. If you are moving into the wide-legged headstand, prepare by holding, interlacing your fingers, maybe sliding your elbows a little closer in. letting the top of your head rest on the floor. Now engage into the shoulders and start to pivot your weight forward so that just your toes are on the floor. Engage into your core so much that eventually your toes kind of just float up. And then maybe stay in this half lift here. Hold. 1. Steady breathing. 2. See if you can hold. Try not to come down if you don't have to. 4. And then with the next breath, see if you can continue the trajectory all the way up until your legs come together. And we'll stay there another 5 breaths. 1. Strong shoulders. Remember, you can still be in your wide-legged. 2. Steady, calm breathing. 3, or you can try just taking the toes on the floor and the heels off the floor. 4 and 5. Now coming out, same thing. Open the legs wide, nice and strong, shoulders and forearms pressing into the floor. Gentle, gentle, gentle until the toes come down. Heels come down and you can remove your head, but stay down. Keep your head down. You can release your hands and we'll all kind of meet back in that same place we started. The wide-legged forward fold with the elbows on the floor. Steady breathing. 1 more breath. Next, inhale, slowly press into the hands. Lift the head halfway, shoulders roll back. Exhale, turn your right toes, walk your hands to the inside of that right foot, and then step your right foot back. Find your high plank, engage your core. Good work. Exhale, knees down, chest down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing, opening heart, lifting chest. Exhale, downward facing. Stay in your downward facing dog for a few breaths. So if you were able to join me in that inversion, wonderful. If you weren't and you were either observing or attempting different ways to start to bring balance onto your forearms, that is wonderful. So just stay here, connect with your breath. Let all of that go. And of your next exhale, we're going to slowly bring the knees down to the floor, separate the knees wide, bring the hips all the way down, take your Malasana. Forehead down, arms lengthening, soften shoulders, steady breathing. One more breath. Good. And then inhale, lift the head, slide the hands in, come to seated. All right. Now we're going to move a little bit into some hip movements, also in downward facing dog. So we're going to keep this kind of upper body strength happening here. Hands on the floor, back to tabletop position. Inhale, tuck the toes under. Exhale, press back to downward facing. Once you're in downward facing dog, bring the weight to the left foot and lift the right leg up. Point the toe, find your 3-legged. Keep lengthening through the right toe as you press down firmly through both hands. So don't allow all of your weight to move to the left. Keep some weight evenly distributed into your right hand. Now bend your right knee and point the toe towards your left hip. See if you can open out towards the right with your chest. Look out underneath your right armpit. Stay here for a breath or two. And then exhale, see if you can look underneath your left armpit to see your foot. Now, if you see your foot clearly, that's an indication you might be ready to flip your dog. So if you can see your foot, give it a try. Bend into the left knee, left heel off the floor, and then let the right toe come down to the mat so that you're in this reverse tabletop. Reach the right arm and extend all the way up. Now you can stay with your right toes down, or you can bring your right heel down. Lengthen through the right side, hips up, strong left arm. Exhale, hips come down, right head comes down. Find your 3-legged dog once more. Steady breathing. Inhale, look forward, take the right knee forward, and let's do pigeon. We haven't done pigeon in a while, so let's give it a try. You can place your right hip or a prop underneath your right hip so that your body feels in alignment and nice and square. Let the left hip relax down towards that right foot, and then take your elbows down. Take your forehead down. Find release, find rest. Let's hold here for 10 breaths. Try not to fight with your body, be calm. We're almost halfway there. As you hold, maybe your body gives you some cues to lengthen a little bit more. One last breath. And then inhale, slide the hands down underneath the shoulders, lift the head and chest, come into that lifted position, right hand on the inside of that right knee, and then look back over left leg for a little bit of a twist. You can stay here in this rotation, or you can bend the left knee, bring the hand and the knee together and the foot together as you draw that foot in towards the glutes for a left quad stretch. Keep the left hip down, however, try not to move all your weight to the right. So some of your weight should remain on the left side of your body. And exhale, slowly release the left leg, release the hands back down. You can move your prop out the way, tuck the left toe under, straighten out, slide your right foot back. You can do knees down, chest down like we've been doing, or Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. Shoulders back, lift heart and chest, look up. Exhale, downward facing. All righty, take a couple breaths here. We'll prepare for the other side. Deep, easy breathing. However that first side went, let all of that go. Start fresh. Bring your weight to your right foot and lift your left leg up. Find your three-legged dog. Point through the toe, lengthen your torso and spine. Steady, easy breath here. Keep extending to that left leg. Make sure your weight equally distributed between left and right side. Very easy to dump all your weight to the right. Now exhale, bend the left knee, point the toe towards the right hip and start to open up the chest. See if you can look out from underneath the left armpit. So we rotate out to the left first. Now keep your left knee bent and see if you can look out underneath your right armpit. Now if you're able to see your foot, then give it a try. If you can't see your foot, you can stay there, or you can go back to the extended three-legged. If you're gonna try reverse, bend your right knee, lift your right heel off the floor, and lower your left toes down to the mat as you pivot your hips up and lengthen your torso, gazing towards left fingertips. Strong right arm, steady, easy breathing. Exhale, hips come down. Left hand comes down. Take your time. Back to three-legged. Good. Exhale, take that left knee through. Find your pigeon. So again, you can use your prop if you wish. Slide it underneath that left hip on this side. Settle into the feeling of your hips coming down. And then exhale, release down to the floor. Remember, you can always stay on your elbows or use a block or a pillow underneath you, or you can bring your forehead all the way down. And I like to kind of bend my elbows and hold on to my opposite elbows. But if you want more shoulder opening, you can lengthen your arms out. That definitely engages more into the shoulders. Let's stay here 10 breaths. Just as before, we want to keep the left and right side even. So if you find your weight moving too much to the right, make the left hip heavy. As we stay through and breathe, you might find your body gives you cues to lengthen your spine a little bit more, or to engage into that back leg a little bit more. You can call upon your Ujjayi breath here if you wish. Let's do 2 more breaths. Last one. Slowly with the next inhale breath, sliding the hands underneath the shoulders and pressing yourself back up. Stay there for a moment, check in. Left hand on the inside of that left foot and reach the right arm back. See if you can bring it to your right thigh. Again, you can stay here. This is enough for you. Otherwise, bend your right knee, reach for that foot, and find your quad stretch on the right side. You're dragging or pulling that right heel towards your right glute. Let your right shoulder move away from the center line of your chest. So you're trying to open the front part of that right shoulder. And there's very little weight in your left hand. See if you can bring a little bit more weight to your right hip. And exhale, slowly release. Right foot comes down, hands back on the floor, lift the left hip. We can move our prop out the way. Right toe tucks under, straighten that right leg and press it back to your high plank. When you're ready, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Staying in downward facing dog, just a few more breaths. Last one. Good. Now, looking forward between the hands, we're going to slide the feet through. So maybe back of the right foot behind the left ankle or wrist, and then the left leg, same thing. Slide the feet through, bring the hips down, come to seated. All right. Now, let's go ahead in the seated position. We're going to take up not a bolster. I think a bolster, unless you have a small one, that might be enough. But something not so thick. You want to place it behind your thighs, where your butt's still on the floor, and then you're going to extend your legs forward. So this is going to automatically fold your knees just a little bit, but it's going to give you support. If you find that this is too much, you can slide it closer to the back of your knees. That might make it more comfortable. But this way, it's definitely a bit more of a challenge. So from here, you're going to reach forward, find your big toes. Inhale, extend your spine. So find length in your back muscles. Exhale, fold, round your back, and let your forehead rest on your knees. You're going to stay here for about 5 breaths. So we're using this forward fold to stretch the back, not so much the legs. Even though you're pressing away with the heels and you're trying to ground down through the legs, let the back muscles find the softness here. This is for our back, not for our legs. Steady breathing. Almost there. And inhale, lift the head up, lengthen the shoulders back, steady breath here. Exhale, release. All right, now you're gonna come and sit on top of that same pile that you created. So the same short cushion or folded up blanket. Bring your feet to Badakanasana. So this is the soles of the feet together, knees out to the sides. Take your thumbs on the insides of your feet and see if you can open your feet out like you would the pages of a book. Lengthen through your spine, stay grounded through your sits bones. You don't want to be tucked under through your tailbone. You want to feel tilt back through the tailbone. Hug the elbows towards the rib cage and towards the hips, shoulders back, and then exhale, start to lean forward. You may not be able to go very far. You may be able to bring your chin to the floor. Depends on your body. So find your maximum and breathe there. 1. Try and keep opening those feet out to the sides. 2. 3. There's an intensity that happens in the inner thighs and in the groin. 4. Let it happen. Don't fight it. And 5. Inhale, everybody come back up to center. This time we're going to tuck the tailbone under. So curl yourself, press out through the middle back. Tuck the chin to the chest, round the back, and bring the forehead towards the feet. 1, still opening the knees, still opening the feet. 2, try to keep the shoulders away from the ears, deeply rounded back. 3, 4, steady breathing. And 5. Inhale, slowly come back up through center. Lengthening the spine once more. Softening the shoulders back and down. And then exhale, release the feet. The thumbs did a lot of work there to keep opening the feet, so just wiggle the thumbs a little bit. And then go ahead and keep your pillow or your block under or your cushion underneath you, and see if you can lay down with your sacrum on top. Once you're down on the floor, maybe make a little bit of an adjustment so that your hips can be fully square on top of your prop. And then take your legs up the wall and relax your arms and hold here. Much gentler inversion than the headstand we did earlier. Check in with your breath. Check in with the sensations of the body. Try to observe all that is happening with an equanimous mind and an equanimous heart. Never judging your experience, but simply noting that you are having this experience. Calm movement of breath in and out through the nostrils. The knees are soft and you may feel some shaking or tingling in the legs. That's totally normal. Just a few more breaths here, finding a sense of calm, peace, relax. And with the next exhale, we're going to start to soften the knees and let the knees come down towards the floor, or the feet, sorry. As we bend the knees, the feet come down towards the floor. Maybe let them hang for a moment here, just checking in. And then exhale, let the feet come all the way down. And so you can be down onto your back. From here, you can elevate the hips, move your prop away. And then if you have your bolster, grab it so we can do a supported fish to finish up our practice. So you're going to place it right at your lower back and then lean yourself back so that you're supported by the entire thing. Let your head be supported. You can have your legs out, soft and relaxed, feet flopped open, or you can bring your feet back to Badakanasana. Hands down by your sides. Whatever you decide to do here, make sure that you feel comfortable and that you feel relaxed, fully supported by the prop. As we hold, we start to come into this feeling of Shavasana. We're starting to release, to let go.
You're welcome to remain in this position and then treat this as your Shavasana if this feels comfortable enough for you. Or you can release your legs, move the bolster away, and come flat onto your back. So you can either take your more traditional Shavasana or stay in this supported fish position. You can change the position of your legs if you like, if you're staying in the supported fish. Whenever you feel ready to do so, let's start by gently moving the head side to side. Whether you're in your Shavasana or you're in your supported fish, let your left ear come down towards the mat. And then come back up to center. I'll do the other side. We'll just do that maybe a couple more times. Slowly with control, letting the left ear come down. And slowly with control back to center, allowing the right ear to come down. Inhaling back to center. If you're in your Badakanasana legs, take your hands underneath your thighs and gently start to move the knees in towards each other. Let the feet stand on the floor, knees bent. Check in, and as you can, exhale, begin to lengthen your legs away. If your legs are already straight, just stay there for another breath or two. Now, if you're on your support in fish pose, then what we're going to try to do next is you're going to lift the arms. And you can do this in Shavasana too, but you're not going to feel as much opening in the shoulders. Lift the arms, reach the arms overhead, find lengthening, and see if you can rest either the fingertips or maybe the back of the forearms onto your bolster or onto the floor. If you're in Shavasana, this just feels and looks like a full body stretch. If you're using fish, this is a deep heart opener and a deep feeling of back bending. Keep your hips down, point through your toes, shoulders back. One more breath, inhale. Exhale. Everyone gets to release the arms down. So now we're going to come off the bolsters or simply bend one knee. You can roll over to one side and then you can kind of push that bolster away so you can come back down to the floor. You just kind of slide yourself out of it. No fun way to do that. Just move it out of the way. And then once you're back on the floor, everybody's in that Shavasana position. Bring the knees into the chest. And hug the knees in, maybe a little sway. Movement through the hips, giving that lower back a little massage, especially after all that back movement that we did today. Check how your wrists are feeling. They did support a lot of our weight today. Give them some love if they need it. And then hug the knees in tightly. Squeeze your legs, lift your forehead towards the knees. Give yourself a nice tight hug. And exhale, release. Roll over onto your side here so we can make our way up to seated. Taking our time, finding our comfortable seated pose, crossing the feet. Don't need to support your hips here. We're not going to be here very long. Just taking a moment to settle in, softening the shoulders.
Check back in with your breath. See how everything has changed or not so much, or a little bit of change. What's different with you, with your body, with your mind, with your patterns of thinking? As we get ready to embark upon the rest of our day here, seeing if we can take some of the lessons from our practice today. To move with intention and consciously making choices as we move along the path of life. To see if we can let go of the aversion, of discomfort and struggle, and see if we can let go of the clinging, of the sense of ease and softness that comes when we finish our practice. As we exhale, we'll draw the palms together at the center of the heart, and we'll seal our sacred space with one sound, Om. Inhale to begin. Namaste.